Hey, what's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about what a potential mock draft might look like if the Jets decided to trade Jamal Adams. But before we get started, I just wanted to mention that you can follow me on social media at Matt O'Leary NY on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that fun stuff. You can also subscribe to my podcast wherever you get your podcasts and call in, leave me a question, I'll answer it on the show. New episodes every Monday. So Adam Schefter hinted at the Jets potentially looking to trade Jamal Adams. Do I necessarily buy that? No, but let's take a look and see what the New York Jets draft could look like if they decided to move him to Dallas. I think if you're trading him, you are at least getting a first and a third this year and maybe a pick like a second rounder in next year's draft. So we're going to operate under the assumption that Dallas is giving you 2 picks in this year's draft class, 17th overall, which is their first round pick, and 82nd, which is their third round pick. So in round 1, pick 11, the New York Jets are going to take Andrew Thomas in this mock draft. He is a plug-and-play left tackle who played out of Georgia. He is 6'5", 315, and one of the top 4 offensive linemen in this draft class. He's a better run blocker than he is a pass blocker as of right now, but this is something that could continue to develop. He is someone who you draft, put on the left side, and forget about for a decade. This would be a great pick for the New York Jets, filling a major hole on this team. With Dallas's pick 17, I would take Justin Jefferson, wide receiver out of LSU. He is 6'1", 202 pounds. He has great ball skills. He's a possession kind of receiver. He's relatively quick. He has 4.43 speed. Then he ran in the 40-yard dash. It's not anything crazy, but it's good enough to work. Something that he can get better at is route running. That's something that he could improve on. Every single prospect is going to have something that they can improve on. He is probably the 4th best receiver in this class. I would go Judy Lamb as 1B. I would then go Ruggs after that, and then I would put Justin Jefferson right there at 4. So you're getting a starting offensive lineman and someone who has WR1 potential in Justin Jefferson. That's a really good first round if you're the New York Jets. Round 2, pick 48, I have the Jets going Noah Igbenogany, who is a corner out of Auburn. He is 5'10", 198 pounds. He's fast, 4.4 speed. He's the son of 2 Olympic track athletes out of Nigeria, so obviously he has good roots there. He's a receiver turned corner, and he's very physical. That's something that I think Greg Williams would absolutely love to have, and you're getting a position of need, which is corner. I know that they were looking at Logan Ryan. They have not signed him yet. Cornerback 2 next to Desir is up in the air. Do you let Bless on Austin and his injury history start on the outside, or do you fix that and go with a younger prospect like Noah? I think that would be an interesting move, and I think the value there at 48 is pretty good. Now with the Jamal Adams trade, you have 3 third-round picks, so I am packaging 2 of them, pick 79 and 82, for Philadelphia's 53rd pick. He being Joe Douglas, is going to get on the horn with his old team and say, hey, I'll give you 2 third-rounders if you let me get back up into the second. They're going to do that, and the New York Jets, with that 53rd overall pick, are going to pick Terrell Lewis out of Alabama. Now, he did have some injury concerns earlier on in his career, but had a really nice season in 2019 that was productive. He has great physical traits, he's long and limber, and he worked on a really nice spin move. I think this pick would help fill that need of edge rusher that's been for over a decade. So in the first 2 rounds, you are addressing wide receiver at 17, offensive tackle at 11, and your 2 second-round picks on the defensive side of the ball are corner and edge, which is the 2 biggest needs for that Jets defense. With my 1 third-round pick now, pick number 68, I'm going with Matt Hennessy out of Temple, interior offensive lineman. He is 6'4", 307 pounds. His brother is actually the long snapper for the New York Jets right now, so I think that Joe Douglas could get the inside scoop from his brother, and this would provide offensive line depth. I don't necessarily expect him to start from day one. I think he's someone who could sit for a year or 2 and then take over as somebody gets older, whether it's McGovern at center or whether you want to move on from Van Roten or Lewis in the near future. I think this would be a developmental pick and someone with a little bit of upside on the interior offensive line, something the Jets have pretty good depth in right now, but it's all older veterans. If they want to get a little bit on the younger side on the interior offensive line, then I think taking a swing on Hennessy would make a lot of sense. Round 4, pick 120, I have the Jets going with Antoine Brooks, the safety out of Maryland. He is 5'11", 220. He is a big boy, and boy could he hit. He's not someone who could really play a single high safety, but that's Marcus May's job. Now you need someone to replace Jamal Adams, and taking a swing on that in the 4th round with a really big physical safety seems to make sense. He would be able to do the things that Jamal Adams does in the box, like moving up, making plays at the line of scrimmage, being a big-time hitter and stuff like that. He can't cover like Jamal. I want to make that clear. Jamal Adams is a very good man coverage guy. He would not be at all, but you don't necessarily need him to do everything that Jamal did. You can just have him play the role in which you'd come up to the line of scrimmage and make plays while Marcus May could take care up top. Round 5, pick 159, I have Juwan Jennings, wide receiver out of Tennessee. He is 6'3", 215, big body wide receiver, doesn't have much speed, but he is someone who could be a bigger target in the slot. And I know you have Jamison Crowder in that role, but he's a smaller, speedy guy. And this is someone who could maybe be like your 4th or 5th receiver on the depth chart, just adding a little bit of depth here. Obviously, you don't know what you're going to get out of Quincy Enunwa, if he's going to be ready to go for this year. And you signed Josh Doxson, but I don't necessarily expect him to be all that much. So you're just taking a swing in the 5th round on wide receiver, a position of need. And it could potentially, best case scenario, he's a big red zone threat. I would take that in the 5th round. Round 6, pick 192, I'm going with La'Mical Perine, running back out of Florida. He's big, 5'11", 216. He really projects as a second running back. I don't know if he's ever going to be a starting running back in the NFL, but I think he could be a good spell back for Le'Veon Bell. He doesn't have great burst, but he's a high-character guy. Football coaches absolutely love him. He has special teams experience, so I think that would potentially be an upgrade over like what Trenton Cannon is. He's very mediocre, Trenton Cannon. So was Eli Mcguire. Both guys were taken in the late rounds from the Mike Maccagnan era. Hopefully you find a little bit more of a ceiling with Perine, and I think you'd be okay coming out of Florida, playing for a big school as well. I think I'd take the swing. You need a RB2 right now, so maybe you bring back Bilal Powell and Perine, and I think you can work with that trio in the backfield. Round 6, pick 212, I'm going with Jack Driscoll out of Auburn, 6'5", 306. He has a ton of starting experience. He's a 4-year starter at Auburn. So yes, he might not have prototypical size, but at least he has the experience. His athleticism is pretty good, but he has short arms, needs to get a little bit stronger to play at the next level. This is a developmental pick. You're just trying to add as much depth as possible to the offensive line, which is the Jets' biggest weakness. So that's what you're doing in the 6th round. To recap, we have Andrew Thomas to play guard at pick 11. Pick 17, Justin Jefferson at wide receiver. Pick 48, Noah Igbenogany, cornerback from Auburn. Pick 53, Terrell Lewis, edge out of Alabama. Round 3, pick 68, Matt Hennessy, interior offensive line from Temple. Round 4, pick 120, Antoine Brooks, safety from Maryland. Round 5, pick 159, Juwan Jennings, wide receiver, Tennessee. Round 6, pick 192, La'Mical Perine, running back, Florida. Round 6, pick 212, Jack Driscoll, offensive tackle out of Auburn. Let me know what you think of the mock draft in the comments below. Get at me on social media. Would you trade Jamal Adams if this was what you were doing in the NFL draft? Let me know. All that fun stuff. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm Matt O'Leary. Subscribe if you're new here, and I'll talk to you next time.